rising. And here we go. Beijing, ni hao. London, hello, top of the morning to you. Los Angeles, hey. Paris, bonjour. Lisbon, hola. Hong Kong, hello. Sweden, hey. Toronto, good day, eh? Tokyo, konnichiwa. My name is Trudy Art. Here we are. It's Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. It's so good to be alive. This is the Universe Wallet. It's an indexer, it's an explorer, it's minting, and it's a marketplace all on BitcoinUniverse.io, unleashing Bitcoin's full potential. Absolutely. Bitcoin has potential, making the Universe Wallet your all-in-one solution to manage all your assets in one place with full support for BRC20, DUS20, TAP, DMT, UNAT, Runes, LRC20, Lambda, SRC20, Stamp, and there's Atomicals. Support for Atomicals, absolutely. Now, before we get started, this is a helpful reminder. This is not financial advice. You always got to do your own research. And I got 3 questions for you. Do you have your water ready? I'm going to pour some water right now. That is correct. I got my bottle. I actually have a bottle of water here. Can you hear that? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Water. Do you have your blood pressure monitor? And what have you done for yourself lately? Do a mirror check. There is so much going on. And listen, I got to get in the back of this Discord. I should have done this, but I'm going to go back there now. As I'm doing this, oh my goodness, I'm just looking at the timeline. There's so much going on. And that's good. That's good. We need stuff to happen. And then we got to ask ourselves a lot of questions. One of the questions I have is like, what is this obsession with like always like, I have to take care of everybody else? It's like, this is why you're falling apart. Literally. You are literally falling apart because you are falling for this narrative that you have to go and take care of everybody else. Okay. Unless it's your spouse or your children. The only person you need to look after is your mirror. Okay. That is like a little bit of a challenge. Okay. Always with this narrative of like, hey, I got to look after everybody else. Come on, people. You got to look after yourself. Okay. It's absolutely interesting to me that people don't think that through. You have to look after yourself. If you look after yourself, then that just helps everybody else. It literally does. So hopefully I can get some folks out here for today. But let me copy this, putting this in the back. What the back of where? The Discord. If you're not set up for the Discord, go to the Universe page and you will see the link for Discord. There's a ton of stuff that happens in the back rooms of the Discord. So I would definitely get in there and make it happen. Okay, so I have posted this. Let's see if some peeps come in here. Okay, let's see if some peeps come in here. Today's show happening now. Bitcoin is hope. What is the strategy? Well, peeps, first thing is first. Let's get at it. Let's find out what is happening out in the real world, as they say. And then once we find out what's happening in the real world, then we can figure out what's happening in our world. And I'm telling you, unless you start to look in that mirror and figure out what you're going to do for yourself, I don't know how you're going to get through the rest of the stuff that's potentially coming. Yeah. Because there's going to be so much that's going to happen. And I get it. We've been told to help our neighbors, but do you know that your neighbor won't get the best help if you're not in the best situation? That's why you got to help yourself first. You literally have to help yourself first. Yeah, like seriously. Every time you get up, okay, and you go to the bathroom, look in that mirror and look at that person. Make a commitment to them. I'm not kidding here, okay? I want everybody to look after themselves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening, but you got to understand a lot of it. Okay, Shakespeare. I'm going to bring up everything today. I got my tools. Okay, I got my tools here and I'm bringing up everything. I'm even going back and I'm going to go back and get Shakespeare out here, okay? You know what he said? All the world is a stage. Like the entire globe is a stage. That means that most of it is acting, cosplaying. And I know that's not a good thing to hear. I know it's not fun, but a lot of it is acting. Okay. Why? Because there's a lot of deception, unfortunately, that happens. And, even when you turn on your TV, it's a lot of deception. Okay. There is so much hope right now in the world. Like I literally, when I get up in the morning, I am excited. I am excited because if you're paying attention, all of us, we have an opportunity that we who the people that want opportunities. Okay, this only applies to people that want. If you don't want an opportunity, because it depends on the narrative that one takes, right? If your narrative is that I want more pain, absolutely you're going to get more pain. Okay. In fact, I mean, I'm going to go off script a second. I'm just for a moment or two here, peeps, because I mean, I'm just reading the timeline today. I am reading the timeline, and it is like bear vibes. Peeps are out here crying in the bear, but they haven't even started the pain pressure. This is just the warm up. Okay. You got to watch more movies, and hey, don't take that lightly because the movies are part of the conditioning. The movies are it's part of the way they get you to give up your sovereignty. Yeah, you have sovereignty. They tell you countries have sovereignty. No, you have sovereignty. You are a universe unto yourself. Yeah, now I'm getting all like, I'm oof. Oh my god, don't get me started. But you're a universe unto yourself. You actually are a sovereign nation. Yeah, you. However, many of us, all of us, have given our consent to be taken over by other people's scripts. Yeah. We're saying stuff that we didn't even think we would say. We're taking on scripts that don't belong to us. The only script that you should have is how do I improve my life? But you know what? Here's the funny thing is if you don't want to improve your life, that's an option too. Like I can't talk you out of it. You don't want to improve your life, you don't want to improve your life. Just you see, that's the beautiful thing about sovereignty is you get to choose. You get to choose if you want to go to the bottom of the barrel, you can do that. Why should I talk you out of that? Maybe you need to go there. I'm not going to talk you out of it. I'm trying to lift myself out of this thing. Once I lift myself out of this thing, maybe I'll scream down at you and say, "Hey, do you want to come out of there now?" But I'm going to lift myself out. So, hey, if my state, listen to this, okay? Here's one for you. They call it the United States of America. You're a state too. Yeah, your state of mind. Your state of mind is so important. You are a state. What state are you in right now? Yeah, you're thinking, "Oh, it's a physical place." It's also a mental place. Okay. I have gone off script today again because I just see the bearish vibes out there and I'm trying to figure out when are peeps going to come back and start planning. Yeah, start planning because there's exciting stuff happening in the world and imagine I imagine that I have a little bit of insight into what the angles are, okay? Oh my goodness, like DT yesterday. Oh boy. I don't know. He might have to pay for everybody's psychiatry bill. I think he went he's going deep in the method acting here. He's going to have to like, pay for everybody's pay for everybody to go get some therapy. Yeah. Wonder if he's thought of that. Okay, so here's what he said yesterday. Oh my God. People don't get this guy. And I know you're gonna okay, some people are like, it's not funny. Our lives are being affected. Hey, guess what? That is an actual um, way to perceive it. We perceive things differently. I perceive something else going on, and my perception is my perception, and your perception is your perception, and I have no judgment against it. Okay. Oh boy, but here we go. What did he say? Oh my God, this guy, this blippin' guy. You know what I want to say. Oh my goodness, did I not save what he said? Did I not save what he said? Because it was too good. Essentially, he was saying that he wants to go for a third term. Yeah, a third term. Okay, and he was calling out. Um, oh, okay. He was. Was that it? No. Oh my God, I want to get his quote because it was so good. Okay, well, he wanted to go for a third term, and he knows who he wants to go up against. Okay, so he was calling out Obama, and he says, "Yeah, I want to go for a third term, me against Obama." And I was like, "Oh my God, I just got validation because I have been saying that this guy is playing stuff out like it's WrestleMania. Hmm. Like he's stone cold Trump versus Barack the Rock Obama. Uh, hey, listen, you can't make this stuff up. Different things are being played out in people's minds, and I literally think that this 47, okay, who is a businessman who has had success at business, whether you like it or not, has had success at business. He sees the entire globe as a business deal. Hmm. He sees the entire globe as a business deal, and you know what? There are people that agree with him. And obviously, there are people that don't agree with him. This is just a different style. You haven't seen this style of management before. But you got to prepare yourself because there are many styles out there, and we're getting to the point of where the polishedness of people is not working. People don't want a polished apple anymore, okay? Because there's a lot of wax on that apple and it's not healthy for you. People want to see someone that has some authenticity to them. Authenticity doesn't mean that it agrees with you. It's just that they're wanting to see something that has more rawness to it. And this is raw, okay? This is absolute raw. And so what's the first thing? Headlines, okay? We're going to talk about headlines. And we're going to talk about April 5th, 2025. And we're going to talk about GameStop. Yeah, GameStop has its head on straight. GameStop is going to shock and rock everybody. That's what GameStop is going to do. Now, headlines. Okay, so what are the headlines out here? By the way, Bitcoin is hope. This is where you can come and get some hope, okay? But not if you listen to these headlines. If you listen to these headlines, people, you will literally want to just hunker down in a bunker and run away. Okay, Bitcoin slides to 81,000 as Trump tariffs jolt stock market. Ooh, scary. Okay, Bitcoin succumbs to risk assets slump as Trump launches tariffs. You know, tariffs aren't funny, by the way. Tariffs are real, okay? I must say that. Tariffs are real because things are getting more expensive, and that is not fun. That is a serious thing. And that's why I emphasize the reality of Bitcoin. This ideal that we're not interconnected or we're not going to face change that perhaps doesn't look the way that we want to, um, it's not realistic. It's not realistic. Like the changes are happening slowly, but you can't see them because you're a frog in boiling water. And DT 47 is just moving the change along a lot quicker than many of us want. And I'm not saying if I agree or don't agree. I don't do that. I I I do not involve myself in affairs that are not going to help my mirror. Okay. So whether it was DT or another leader, I would have the same approach. And that approach needs to be for your future. Okay. So as I'm going through I am not pro DT, but I am not pro any individual. I'm just going to deal with the information as it comes. Okay. So here's another headline: Tariffs disrupt Bitcoin mining, supply chain rooted in Asia. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. Crypto isn't safe. Ooh, okay. It's not safe. Crypto isn't safe. Run for your lives. Bitcoin brace for atomic bomb. Oh! Okay. Amid serious Trump price. Yeah, I'm going to read it that way because that's the way they want you to hear it in your brain computer. Yeah, in your brain computer. By the way, everything that is in the physical world is just a pattern of your wonderful, beautiful self. Yeah, your brain computer is now in the CPU, it's now in the hard drive. Okay, that's how the people, the imaginators, that's where they get their ideals from. Every ideal that ever became an ideal is was born out of what we are currently. It's born out of our stories. Okay, even the idea of, okay, I'm going off script a little bit. Even the idea of a cloud. Yeah, a cloud. Okay, we store our information in the cloud. Come on, people. They're taking a script out of the ancient text for that one. Okay, let me just continue. Let me just continue. I'm not going to go there. They're probably not even going to put this on the YouTube. I'm going to start to sound like that Jones guy. Okay, he's in his space right now, just delivering the terror to everyone. Okay, here's another one. Flood the market. Major Fed flip predicted to blow up the price of Bitcoin. Hey, I gotta read it that way. It is literally. Listen, if I could animate the headlines, that's how they want you to hear it. Okay. Notice there's never any good news. God, there's never any good news. But I'm here to tell you that there's absolutely good news. And there's a way that you can approach this that's going to 100% benefit you. And the first thing is the first three questions that I ask are literally going to help you. Okay. So one of the questions was, do you have your water ready? Everybody needs fresh, clean water. The next question that I always ask is, do you have a blood pressure monitor? That's actually a serious question because a lot of people don't realize that they are human and they're out there behaving like machines. There's no 9 to 5. It's like 9 to 12. I mean, 9 to 5s aren't working. People have 2 and 3 jobs. Okay. So that's why you're going to need the water and the blood pressure monitor. Okay. Because I believe that you are going to make it. That's my personal belief. And I believe that you are going to come into great wealth. Here's the problem, though. Yeah, there's a problem. The problem is you haven't looked after your health. So all that money that you're going to come into may not even matter. And that's why I say those two things. Okay. Then the third one I always ask is the mirror check. What have you done for yourself lately? This is so serious because they have wired our brains into believing that we need to do everything for everybody else. But literally, if people started focusing on their mirror, then we would solve a lot of problems. But you know what? Because people are good at being spinners, they'll come to you and they'll say, oh, but there's people that don't know how to look after themselves. Yeah, but you want to know why they don't know how to look after themselves? Because you, whoever you are trying to have your standard be their standard. Not everybody wants what the other person wants. Okay. You're thinking that the person over there wants the way that you set your life up. No, they don't. Maybe they want something completely different. So, am I done yet? Oh my God. This is sad. We're going to have to scrap this whole thing today. Oh my God. People, I'm telling you, there is hope in this great, wonderful planet. It's absolutely exciting. And in 2009, an anonymous individual by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto thought, why don't we look at cryptography? Yeah, cryptography. And that cryptography is how Bitcoin got started, because it's a numbering system where transactions can be verified. As many of you know, the banks, who, by the way, the banks, yes, come on, banks, get in here. They're players in this whole game too. The banks play games with everybody, okay? The banks are trying to tell you that they want to help you, they want to provide you services. Absolutely not. I worked in one, okay? Hey bank, I'm not I didn't point out a name, so just, govern yourself accordingly. I know how words work, okay? This is my opinion, okay? This is my opinion. When I worked in there, the primary focus was the balance sheet. It wasn't you, okay? I was instructed to increase the bottom line. In fact, I was so good at the sales that I got promoted, and I kept getting promoted. But then I got to the point where I would go home and I literally went in the bathroom and I started crying. Why am I sharing this? I think we need to share this on this day today. Yeah, because people are losing hope. I started crying. I literally, because people started to really trust me. They would come in and tell me things like, I mean, I had to tell some of the people, I said, stop sharing this stuff. Why are you? I, right before the crash, I literally, someone came in and told me there's something big going on. Like, the 2008 crash. And he said, if you knew, it could bring down and I was like, you know what? Maybe don't tell me. It was too much. It's like, you're telling me this information? Like, come on, stop. The point is, people were coming in and they were sharing their hearts and their souls and their minds with me. And then I was being told, sell, 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 which I'm very good at. I'm very good at selling. Okay. And I can sell when I believe in something. And I got to the point where I didn't believe anymore because it was like, it was too much. It was too much. We were selling for what purpose? Because at one point I was selling stuff that I believed in, but then, as it always happens in banking, the margins get shorter and shorter and shorter. So then, or smaller and smaller and smaller. So then they come up with more products and more products and more. And some of these products, in my opinion, weren't the best products. They weren't terrible, but they weren't the best products. They weren't going to help people to get financially free. They were just going to help the bank to, pump up its bottom line. So I went in the bathroom and I started crying. I literally did. And then I just brushed my face, the tears off. And then I went back and I sat down and I was smiling again. And after that appointment, I decided that I was going to leave. And I wrote a beautiful letter because I'm good with words. And I quit. And you want to know, but it wasn't smart. It really wasn't smart that I quit because I had nothing. I had no job to go to. I literally quit and I had no job lined up. But you know what I had? I had imagination and I had belief and I had power. And I literally, no joke to you, I went through massive pain because I did quit during the time of the last collapse. And I exhausted all of my savings. Why am I sharing this with you? Because I want to tell you there's hope. There's hope. There really is. I exhausted all of my savings. And unless you want to jump in here, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, okay? But I got to share this with you. Pump you up today. So I quit, and I quit out of emotion because sometimes you should not let emotion overwhelm you. You always need logic. And I didn't ask myself, well, what am I going to do like, a month from now, 2 months from now? I figured, okay, well, I have enough savings. I didn't. It was really tough. It was really, really tough. But I had an ideal that I can't share what the ideal was, but I had this ideal and I shared it with multiple people and they're like, "Well, you can't do that. How are you going to do that?" Well, I'm good with words, so I created a website and I created pamphlets and I put these words together. And would you believe I got someone called and they took my words quite seriously and they're like, "Yes, you do this and that, and here's what we want to do." And it's a very big company. Come closer. I will tell you who the my first client was. I will tell you. My first client, and what's so funny was I am a bit of a person that believes in ancient texts. So I had read an ancient text that said something to the effect of, you know what? Doesn't matter if you don't have this or that. Just put your effort into whatever you do and believe and go forward and do it, right? And it mentioned the word, I'll just say it mentioned the word gold in the text. Okay, GOLD, like the precious metal that's going up. Okay, maybe I won't tell you the actual company, but my first client was the largest gold mining company in the world at the time. They were my first client. And I can tell you that I went from having zero, and I had said to myself, I want checks in the mail. I want checks in the mail. I'm telling you, words matter. I'm telling you, there's hope. Why am I telling you this? Because I see so much bear vibes. There is hope, people, but you have to take your energy and your imagination away from what the headlines are telling you, and you have to focus on yourself. And I said, I'd like to get checks in the mail. This company called me and they shared what they wanted, and I said, yeah, I can absolutely do that. Literally, I had no staff, but I said, I'm going to figure it out. And do you know that they literally sent me a check in the mail for probably that probably would have covered 6 months' salary. They sent me 6 months' salary. Yeah, 6 months' salary they sent me. And I thought, wow, you literally can use your imagination for yourself and create something uh, better than what they tell you you can create, which is a 9 to 5. And that's what Bitcoin is. That's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is thinking outside of the traditional box. Satoshi sat down and thought, you know what? We can't go on with the financial system in the way that the financial system is operating. And this cryptography was an opportunity to verify transactions because in the financial world, there's a trust problem. And the trust issue is, will you send me the money for the goods that I'm offering to you? I'm a merchant. I have goods. And you come into my establishment and you want my goods, okay? But then, you know, is the money that you're providing for the goods are you good for that money? Are you good for the check? Okay? Are you good for the payment? Okay? So there's a trust factor in between. So the banks they are the trust in between all of us, okay? So they verify these transactions, whether these transactions are wires or credit cards, they're the trust mechanism in between us. But what if we could have peer to peer, a way to, like, I could just deal directly with you, and there's no intermediary, there's no middleman. That's why Bitcoin is so powerful. And so if I was going to be upset today, I would be upset at the fact that I don't have a way that I can peer to peer send my mom money, my brother money, my sister money, um, anyone across the globe. That's what Bitcoin can do. Okay. So and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Because we're so creative, like I just shared a story where I literally left my job. I had nothing set up, which you should never do. Okay. Always have something lined up because it was a tough time. It was 2008. And I mean, markets had crashed and yada, yada, yada. But, I made my way through it because I have imagination. But that's the point. You have to have more than just a headline staring back at you. You've got to have the imagination. And in crypto, there's so much imagination, there's so much creativity. And that creativity is actually going to help us. Yeah, it's going to help us as the system continues to change because the system is going to change. And what I mean by that is it's going to get more automated and it is going to become more streamlined. So something as simple as say, it's tax time right now. Okay, it's all tax time. Most people go to a firm to get their taxes done. Okay. In the future, you won't need to do that. Your taxes will be done instantaneously. You won't have to file paperwork for taxes. Automation is coming everywhere. Okay. So maybe, some people are getting up this morning and they're on their way to their doctors. There'll be none of that. You won't be going into a doctor's office. Everything will be done from wherever you are at, through your phone, through a watch on your hand, because the doctor is just an individual, a person. AI is going to be doing all of that. Okay, and then when you need say an operation or something of that nature, believe it or not, um, they're going to have ways of doing things where they're not going to need the amount of people that are doing that job today. They won't. If you're in the medical field, you're safe for now. You're probably safe for the next decade, but there's a time coming where that space even will be taken over by automation and AI. So if automation is coming everywhere, what are you doing to help yourself? My God, I don't even know if anybody is out there. Okay. If automation is coming, what are you doing to help yourself? So here's what I'm saying. Take a look at Bitcoin because I think that is the next place of imagination. And the people that are going on Bitcoin, they're not only going for peer to peer, they're going to create. They're going to create. They're doing what I did. They're saying, okay, I am out here in this world and I have all this stuff going on, but I have a creative side to me. What if and then they just fill in the blank and they start creating. On the rails of Bitcoin right now, we have opportunities like you would not believe. Okay. And a lot of the opportunities are mirroring the physical world. So there's a lot of opportunity for artists. There's a ton of projects that are happening, obviously, on Bitcoin. There's a lot of opportunity for builders. Yesterday, in fact, I was sharing that there's a new builder in the space, Liquidium, that is bringing liquidity to Bitcoin. They will actually allow you to borrow, borrow from you can actually take loans out on your artwork. Yeah, literally, you can take loans out on your artwork. Okay, I'm not saying that you should do this. I'm just saying this is what they're doing. Okay, so if you had node monkeys, these are some PFPs that are very big in the Bitcoin space. If you had node monkeys, quantum cats, Bitcoin puppets, OMBs, sub 10K, sub 1K, all of that stuff. Some of those are still at they're holding their initial prices pretty good. They've moved down a bit, but they're holding their value. Okay, they're holding their value pretty decently. But you're probably a little bit down and you don't want to sell it. You literally can take out a loan on it, and then and the loan will be in Bitcoin, and then you can use that to move into something else. So that's just to share with you that there's a lot of imagination happening here. 2 years ago, the only thing that was happening on Bitcoin was just the peer-to-peer stuff. Yeah, the peer-to-peer stuff, and that's fantastic. So there's so much happening right now in Bitcoin. Okay, so the number one thing that Bitcoin is being used for is, well, it might not be the number one thing, but one of the things that Bitcoin is being used for is what I said, peer-to-peer. So I I need to send somebody money. I'm in, Canada, and I need to send somebody money in Belgium. I can do that instantly. They'll get that money, depending on the mempool, probably within, 30 minutes or less. Some cases, especially right about now, 5 minutes or less. And you didn't have to get out of your house, you didn't have to get in your car, and you didn't have to go to the bank and stand in line with the teller and then, have a 20-minute conversation with them. And then once they take all the wire details, it's then another 48 hours before the money's sent. Bitcoin gets it there 30 minutes and you nobody's permission. So it's permissionless, okay? The other thing that Bitcoin is doing that it never used to do, it's now becoming a place for creatives. So if you have a creative gene in you and you want to express yourself through word, because do you know that there's music being put on Bitcoin as we speak? In fact, there is a very famous Mexican artist, has a very large following, and she is putting her music on top of the stamp protocol. And I believe that there's going to be a rollout of her and all that she's doing, but this is like a soft release right now, and they're going to do a bigger release. But she's putting all her music on the stamp protocol, so her fans can actually have her music on top of Bitcoin. That wasn't being done in the past. Okay, as we know, there are many different artists that are coming into the different protocols like Ordinals and Stamp. Okay, that's being done. There's actually history is being uploaded to Bitcoin. History, yeah. There's different historical data that's actually being uploaded to Bitcoin. In fact, a lot of research that is being done. So scientists are doing a lot of research. They're actually using Bitcoin to store their data. A couple of weeks, I talked to someone that is doing, see, this is the creative thing. This guy was a farmer, okay? Just trying to show you how powerful this stuff is. This guy was a farmer, corn farmer, and he got into mushrooms. And he shared a story that mushrooms actually, through their electrical pulses, they speak to one another. You're not going to hear that at the office. Nobody's talking about that at your barbecue in the backyard. You invited over your friends. No one's going to be talking about. You know what you're going to be talking about? You're going to be talking about the headlights. I'm pretty sure. And we're going to talk about April 5th in just a moment because TikTok, that's coming. And that's what you're probably talking about. Are you going to be participating on Saturday, April 5th, 2025? Okay. Ton happening there. So within the space of Bitcoin, let me just get back to that. There's a ton happening. So there's creatives, there's people using the network to upload research. So this particular scientist, he does a lot with researching the mushrooms and how they speak to one another. And by the way, he mentioned he's like a I don't know the word right now, it escapes me, but he mentioned that he works with the U.S. military. Yeah, the U.S. military, okay? And they're interested in this research as well because they can get a lot of information from the study of these mushrooms. And he is uploading the data to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is being used for so much stuff right now. Bitcoin is hope. Bitcoin is hope, which brings me to the next thing that I want to quickly talk about. If Bitcoin is hope, then there's a way that you can bridge yourself into that hope. But here's the thing, there's a lot, like I said, that is happening right now in the world because people are losing hope, and they're frustrated, and they don't know where to turn. And in fact, this is a headline because it's happening April 5th, 2025. First of all, TikTok is supposed to be going offline. That's a pretty big deal, I guess. But there's going to be these yellow jacket marches, okay? The yellow jacket movement is going to come to beyond the borders of Paris, okay? And what's the yellow jacket movement? I don't think they're describing it as such, but or yellow vest. I think it's the yellow vest. They're not describing it as such, but it's basically a movement of discontentment that happened. It's called the Yellow Vest protests. So these protests, or they call it the Yellow Jacket protests, they happened. They're weekly protests in France that began on the 17th of November, 2018. And they ended around the 28th of June, 2020. But I think some smaller ones have kind of popped up. So they started out as minor protests, and they were protesting, obviously, the restrictions of the pokey poke. I won't say the word because I don't think that that's the thing that they want you to say. Okay, so there was the pokey poke and the shutdown, and the people rose up. They rose up, and they rose up in great numbers. So that was part of their massive protests, and that caught on, and you saw that. And it was a little bit of a populist type of movement because of all the stuff that's happening in the government. Well, the DT government is inspiring that. And so on the 5th, that's going to happen again, and that's going to spread out. And I will tell you this, peeps, ask yourself a lot of questions before you get really consumed by these things, because some of the issues that people have, they're not realizing that Bitcoin is actually able to solve some of the issues. People are obviously worried about inflation. They're worried about a lot of their social type programs that are out there, and they are worried about how they're going to actually look after themselves. And that's where Bitcoin actually is an answer and is hope. And you might say, but how is it going to help me today? Well, it's going to help you today because there's an education piece that you have to get. Like if you're not getting educated today, then it's going to be more challenging to help you tomorrow. Okay. So really think about it before you get swept away by those movements. Before you get swept away by those movements, because then you may miss out. And one of the things that you may miss out on is the fact that, again, I know I've said it already, is that Bitcoin can provide you with some of those answers. You can create networks through Bitcoin. Though some of those people should actually be coming to Bitcoin and creating networks through Bitcoin and supporting one another. Why aren't they okay? Why aren't they like creating their own network of support? I'm sure if all those people looked around and if they're so interested in helping one another, why not create a network of support and build it on top of Bitcoin? I'm not saying that's an answer. That's a question. Why not create a network of support and build it on top of Bitcoin? Okay. If you don't like the system and the governmental options, why not as individuals create something that you can all benefit from and build it on a railway that will help you? got a lot of ideas, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Okay. We will be going for another, yeah, we'll be going for another 15 minutes. I'm going to get into GameStop now. I'm getting into GameStop now. So let's go there. Feel like this is an interesting show today. Wonder how it's going to sound when I listen to it, because what I like to do is I like to listen back to the shows, and then I can improve. Because my focus is trying to make sure that I have a future, and sharing that with as many people as possible. And GameStop knows a thing or two about being behind the eight ball, because GameStop is a real company, and GameStop has been out here fighting, and many people haven't been really paying attention to the GameStop story. But GameStop, in a way, is for the people, because it knows what it's like to be behind uh, or within the machine itself. Why do I say that? Because there's a narrative building in the GameStop world that the shorts, the hedge funds, are actually oppressing GameStop and its price, and so you can make an intersectionality with what's happening today, literally, because that's how people feel, and they kind of feel that, hey, there's somebody holding them back from their potential. And GameStop has been held back from its potential from a very long time, because there's belief that there's these dark pools that are trading um, after hours, and they're manipulating the stock price and all of that. And most of the mainstream has said that that's crazy, that doesn't exist, that's complete nonsense. But I will tell you, um, now GameStop is fighting back, and guess what it's doing? It's choosing Bitcoin to fight back. And here's something interesting. Okay, so today I'm going to be using some quotes from Bitcoin Magazine, and Bill Miller reveals firm's investment into GME, and he touts GameStop treasury strategy. So, in recent interviews, this Bill Miller, who's a pretty big deal, he outlined his firm's investment approach in a rapidly shifting macro environment, spotlighting GameStop, yeah, as a new position, and reiterating strong conviction and strategy meaning micro strategy, okay, as the blueprint for Bitcoin's treasury strategy. So for Miller, corporate strategy is more than a hedge, it's a signal of innovation, adaptability, and capital efficiency. That's exactly how you need to start thinking. So Miller praised strategies information from software company, because you got to reimagine yourself. Like, I literally went from working in a bank to unemployed to creating an ideal, and then having that ideal, I became an entrepreneur. And that's basically what you have to do in this world, in this life. You can't wait for the government. So Miller praised strategies transformation, because, as many of you may or not know, MicroStrategy was just a software company. Now it's a capital allocator focused on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is hope. He emphasized that the company isn't just investing in Bitcoin, it's solving traditional corporate finance challenges through Bitcoin backed innovation. Strategy continues to create access to Bitcoin across the capital stack, offering various instruments with different risk profiles, from equity to convertible notes. This is all important because many companies are having their own growing pains. They don't know how to keep growing to satisfy the the hunger of shareholders who want to see their stock prices increase, their shareholder value increase. So these companies, they have to have cash on their balance sheets. But as inflation rises, the cash isn't really king anymore. So while some of the firms market premium is uh, as excessive, Miller sees it as deserved. He framed that strategy's persistent accumulation of Bitcoin through share issuance is an intelligent response to monetary debasement and model that others have yet to replicate effectively. He also noted that the rebrand from MicroStrategy to strategy shift not just in name but in purpose, because it's a strategy not for just MicroStrategy but for other businesses. And that's why Ryan Cohen has now stepped into that very strategy that MicroStrategy was using. So here, this is a brand new investor, okay, a large investor here that is now seeing, okay, wait a minute, MicroStrategy uses, GameStop's going to use this. So you know what? He is looking to level up on GameStop. Never ever has, this Bill Miller given a thought to putting GameStop in their reserves. But now, with GameStop moving into the same strategy, they believe that, okay, this is a real opportunity, cementing the company's identity as a Bitcoin development company. Bitcoin hasn't started yet, and that's what many people don't understand. It hasn't even started. So according to Miller, there's a growing list of public companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, more than 70 by his count. But it's firms' only investment in a select few. He emphasized that his team evaluates each one and its own merits with a value-oriented lens and clear focus on the core business. While not every company can become a Bitcoin development company like Strategy, that's obvious. He's believing that many can and should adopt Bitcoin as a long-term store of value. He described Bitcoin as a way for companies to preserve the purchasing power. That's exactly it. Bingo, the purchasing power. Okay. And see, that's the thing. If Bitcoin can do that for a major company, can Bitcoin do that for an individual? Can it do that for an individual? And I actually believe it can. And how can an individual today actually make Bitcoin a hedge against purchasing power? Well, you have to start getting involved in Bitcoin. And I will tell you, one of the ways that an individual can do that is just by starting to look at these smaller projects that are within Bitcoin. And if even if you don't have like the investment to put in Bitcoin, airdrops. In fact, I have been doing, I've been participating in the entire ecosystem. I've been collecting airdrops. I have been absolutely getting involved with what is happening with BitcoinUniverse.io. I actually have been minting runes, and I have been stacking runes. Many people are thinking that, the runes ecosystem is completely dead, but I know a thing or two about being patient, because you really have to be when you're an entrepreneur. Um, I have been looking at, okay, what are the ways that I can actually get in here? Because you heard this gentleman, he said that it's a hedge against inflation. And it's there to preserve your purchasing power of your excess capital, especially in light of monetary policies designed to erode fiat value over time. That's his word, designed. He's saying the money policies, they're designed to erode fiat over time. So how do you as an individual, protect your money? Well, you can protect your money through participating in Bitcoin. And how do you do it if you don't have a big investment? Start doing it small. Start stacking sats. Don't worry about getting a whole coin. Start stacking sats. And one of the ways that I've been doing that is literally through BitcoinUniverse.io. And with the Rune Zero. And by the way, if anybody is interested in getting a Rune Zero, then you would head over to Tools and go to Launchpad. Where is that? Oh, sorry. Head over to Inscribe, hit Universe, and then you'll see Rune Zero. So with my Rune Zero, and that is a tool that helps me to mint runes for almost free, basically almost free. I've been minting runes. The market is about to pick up in a big way for runes because there's liquidity that's coming in. So I've been minting runes. Okay, so with the minting of the runes, then I have a bag ready to go once the market comes back. And that's that's one of the ways that I stack sats. The other thing that the universe is doing is they have a rune copy trading bot, In fact, the founder and CEO was on yesterday, a space with DotSwap, and that space was fantastic, amazing space. So if you want to be a trader and you don't have the skills to trade, the runes copy trading bot is an option. I will say it's not financial advice because, as you know, trading can be a very interesting thing, especially in this market. You look at the market right now, all of the top blue chip stocks are just going through a complete, trying to be positive, okay? I'm hunting for the words. It's going through a pullback. Let's put it that way. So trading can be very interesting. So if you feel like you're a novice trader or you're not quite there yet, then the runes copy trading bot is an option and an opportunity to actually help you to just copy the trades of the professionals. And go and check out, go to DotSwap at @._SWAP and have a listen at that. If you can, the entire space was good. The entire space was good. But if you want to hear the CEO of Bitcoin Universe, okay, he was on there, and that's actually uploaded to the YouTube. So there's a little clip, a 7-minute clip, where he talks about the copy trading bot. So it's a Telegram bot for trading and copy trading runes with DotSwap, and swaps in under 2 seconds. Yeah, there's full dashboard, and there's plans for Stamp and BRC20s. It's like the Uniswap moment for Bitcoin. And here's something that nobody's talking about, okay? Listen, if you were using Uniswap, I've used Uniswap before, okay? A lot of times as you're using these tools, you're not thinking about the future opportunities, but using these tools early, you never know. You could be setting yourself up for great rewards. Many of the Uniswap holders, can't be a holder, but many of the people that had Uniswap use the DEX. Do you know that they actually got the Pengu drop? Yeah, the Pengu drop just for using the DEX. So using some of these tools, these builders they're not telling you today, but they're planning to reward you. So keep that in mind, that as you're an early adopter, you're a pioneer, as they say, you're going to get rewarded, not just by obviously mass adoption happening and more people coming in, and then, you get to exit at your choosing, but sometimes you're earning undisclosed opportunities, because we didn't know that we were going to be eligible for a Pengu drop, but that happened with the Uniswap. And DotSwap is the Bitcoin Uniswap. It really is. So DotSwap is pretty cool. So I would be checking that out, because that's why I talked earlier about all the other stuff, because all the other stuff leads into, okay, so what can I do different? And what you can do different is get on here and just start participating with some of these tools. Believe it or not, you are literally, whoever listens to this, putting yourself in a very elite, distinct group of people that are being educated at the ground floor of where the world is about to come. Like the world is about to enter into what we know, and we were here first. So that means that we're going to benefit from having that knowledge ahead of everybody else. Because I will tell you, on Saturday, as these different protests and things get started, I bet you can't go there and you can't tap somebody on the shoulder and say, "Hey, do you know about Bitcoin?" Unfortunately, they probably like say something really terrible to you because they think it's for the global elites. Okay. You can't say something to them like, "Hey, do you have any runes?" They won't even know what you're talking about. "Hey, do you have a node monkey?" They'd probably want to hit you with their protest sign. They literally would. They'd want to hit you with their protest sign. They don't know what that is. And yet they don't know that like a node monkey, a quantum cat, okay, a stamp could actually save their lives in the future. Why? Because they're all on those streets to try to get the funding for their life. The funding for your life can happen in Bitcoin today. Just start learning about the tools. So the copy trading bot, if you go to the YouTube page, there's a really nice 7-minute video where the CEO of the founder of Bitcoin Universe, Miguel, he's on there and he gives a beautiful explanation of how the bot works. Okay. And actually, if you go to the page of the Bitcoin Universe, you'll see that video. But again, go to that YouTube. And if any of you can do me a solid, because I absolutely need the support. Okay. I need the support. Please, please, please tell a friend about the YouTube page. Tell them to subscribe. And then hopefully they'll listen to a video and then they can tell a friend and so on and so on and so on. Well, let's look at it as building like I almost think the universe is it's doing all this other stuff, but it's becoming an education center for Bitcoin. It's becoming an education center for Bitcoin. And that's what people are missing. They're missing the education. And that's why people tend to go to college and university to get education. Well, there's no Bitcoin education, but there's a Bitcoin universe. You can almost say there's a Bitcoin university. Yeah, that's what the Bitcoin universe YouTube page is. It's a little bit of a university. And you can get a ton of information through some of the videos that are uploaded. Okay. Especially the one that dropped last night. So that's pretty cool. The other way that you can earn some opportunities in Bitcoin is engaging with the current artists and the builders that are out there, because a lot of people are leaving right now temporarily because they'll always come back. Okay, this is how people work. They leave when things are bad and then they come back when things are good. That is actually an incorrect way to do things. You cannot leave when things are bad. That is when people should stay. If I left my situation when it was bad, I would not have the experience that I have today. The only reason that I can talk into a microphone with one person out there is because of the experiences that I've had, because I know my voice matters. It doesn't matter if there's a million people listening to me. I have that much respect for my mirror to know that all of the words coming out of my mouth are real, they're true, and my words matter. Okay. Who do they matter to? Me. That's why I can do this. Because I fight for myself. My value is not based on how many people come to a space. Now, unfortunately, the way capitalism works is you do have to get eyeballs over here. So at some point, I may not be the one doing the spaces, but for the time that I'm doing them, I will say to you that I will continue to show up for one or two people. The amount of people that listen to me doesn't verify if the information is valid or not. You know what verifies if the information is valid or not? is you fact checking everything. And in fact, you should fact check everything I say because sometimes I talk so fast and the ideals are coming and they bump into one another that I might say something. And the back room is very good. They always fact check me in the back room. And then I try to come back the next day and correct it. But you should fact check everything I say. You should not believe all the words that are coming out of my mouth. That is crazy sauce. That is crazy sauce. No, you have to fact check everything because, see, if you can become your own resource center, if you can become your own fact checker, if you can become the person that is fighting for yourself, then you don't need a government because your government is in the mirror. Okay. Try to ask yourself more questions. What It's nice when a governmental body has benefits for people. That is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you or I go to our beds at night and we are going to our bed, with broken hearts because the government is not doing this or that, that's not good. That's why I always ask about the water and the blood pressure monitor. Peeps, you have to take back the power of your life. You're the person that is in charge of your life. Even if there's a group of people that say that your value doesn't matter, they are just people. They're just saying what they want to say. It's a game. They say that, but then if you believe it, it becomes true. Okay? You can't believe everything people say. They just make up stuff. They literally make up stuff, including 47. He makes stuff up all the time. Okay. And it doesn't sound funny or fun for me to be saying that, but that's how it works. And that's why it's important to fight for yourself and hunt. And Bitcoin, I'm telling you, it's no joke. It is no joke. It is the future of where everybody is going to line up. And the fact that you're here, that is pretty amazing. So take advantage of it. The other thing that I'm doing, like I said, because people are, leaving and stuff, I am supporting as many people as possible that I can in the Bitcoin space. If people are running contests, I am jumping into the contests. I'm liking, I'm retweeting, I'm tagging. Do that. Do that when the universe, puts out a contest, like, retweet it, tag. When they say tag 3 people, tag 30. Okay? Tag even more. Okay. And you know what? That just helps more people to get in there. And I, in fact, and do that for as many of the projects as you can out there. Always be careful too, because some people will take advantage of the time right now, and there could be some contests that aren't legit. If anybody is asking you to click on a link or send your seed phrases, obviously you don't do that because people will scam everywhere. Okay. But go and support the people that have been here since day one. Go and support these builders. They need our support. I, in fact, entered a fantastic draw for a great project called At Lunatics. And I was pleasantly surprised. I actually won a mint for one of the Lunatics that's happening on April 8th. So there's like a ton of opportunity right now in Bitcoin. Okay, and that mint, it's a $30 mint. So if you can jump into that mint, you should really think about it. It's a $30 mint, and you know what? Then I get this really amazing artwork because there's going to be 333 pieces, and they're one of ones, and they've been done in collaboration with different artists, and so it's a labor of love. Because these folks love Bitcoin and they love creativity. So I thought, let me get in there, let me support them. And I was pleasantly surprised that I got whitelisted, which was great. You always want to get whitelisted in these Bitcoin projects. And then I'm going to get a mint. So that's great. So I consider that, okay, I have another potential opportunity to stack sats. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to end it. But I would say the Bitcoin universe, this is the time right now to jump into the website. Jump into the website and start looking at all the tools again, and look at what you can do specifically for yourself. Um, if you don't have any extra right now, because some people that are tuning in, some have a lot, some may have some, and some may have not a lot. Okay. I don't know your situation, but ask yourself, how can I be valuable? How can you be valuable? Why would you ask yourself that question? Because if you figure out a way how you can be valuable to the ecosystem, then you might actually create a way for yourself to stack sats. A lot of these projects, they do not have marketing budgets. They don't have, access to mainstream media, because I'm telling you, if they did, maybe some of the people that are heading out in these streets on Saturday, maybe they would make a different decision, and maybe they'd come out to Bitcoin and start educating themselves big time in Bitcoin. But you can actually start today by helping these projects get the word out. And in some cases, there's rewards for people that actually support these different projects. If you can, show a consistently, supporting the project, I'm sure they'll tap you on the shoulder and they'll say, hey, we noticed you're supporting us and we'd like to support you back. Here's what we'd like to do for you. You could maybe become an ambassador of some of these projects. And there's small rewards for becoming an ambassador. So think about that, because nobody really talks about that. It's so important. Visibility is so important. So, and I know a lot of these builders, they need it. So think about that. If you can't stack sats through buying into projects or through minting or through trying to hunt for airdrops, then you can start researching the projects in Bitcoin that you really love, and then start supporting them by getting the word out. Okay. Okay, so this is my Thursday wrap up. Oh my God. Oh no, but if somebody would want to talk to me, that would be great. Somebody want to talk to me, that'd be great. But you know what? I can close it out here. And I want to say thank you very much if you showed up. Even to the people that are out there that will listen on the YouTubes, thank you very much for coming out, and let's get at it. Bitcoin is hope. There's a lot that is about to come our way. And you know what? I always think that the Bitcoin going down is a massive opportunity, because it's picking more people up. It's like a bus. It's like a bus. It's like, hey, we need to get more passengers on here. Let me just look at the price. Bitcoin price right now. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Woohoo. Bitcoin is at 81,623.02. Looks like it's headed down 0.96%. That's amazing, because then I get to stack more sats, and this is an opportunity to get more people on the bus. How do you like that? Okay. Have yourselves a great day.